Hey, glad to see you here. Thought for the last day that I'm gone, New Year's Day itself, would be fun to do some sort of year in review of off-camera games, starting with the Nintendo year in review they sent me in the email. So, my most played games this year were Disgaea 6, Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory, and New Pokemon Snap. So to talk briefly about each of them, Disgaea 6, it's a bit like Phantom Brave in that it's a strategy RPG where you can grind if you want and get ridiculously powerful. Although Disgaea 6 makes the ridiculously powerful thing a bit more easy because it features auto-battling, auto-grinding. It really leans heavily into what Disgaea post games normally are, but like lighter. So also because of the auto battling thing, this 76 here that I can't actually point at. Oh no, I just needed to click on the window. Yeah, that's probably not really real because a lot of the time the game was kind of playing itself. Although they did make actually being able to like program your characters. What is it called? I haven't played this game since like June or something. Yeah, sort of like the FF12 thing, Gambits. They have something like that, but it's like a flowchart in this. And then Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory. It's a rhythm game. I like rhythm games. I don't think this is even the best rhythm game I played, but the thing is, its hard difficulty is easy enough that I thought I could full chain all of the songs on, well, it's called Proud Mode because Kingdom Hearts, but turns out I was right. I did full chain all the Proud Mode songs, and I also collected all the artwork cards. Well, one rarity of them. I didn't go for both rarities. And then New Pokemon Snap, it was more Pokemon Snap. It was exactly what I wanted in getting a Pokemon Snap game. I actually didn't even find all the secret routes in that time. There was this one cave level. I don't even know where to look for it, but the NPC chatter clearly indicated it's where I was missing a route. And then last year it was these. Animal Crossing, I don't think I need to talk about Animal Crossing at all. Rune Factory 4 Special. I mean, probably the obvious well-known game to compare Rune Factory to at this point is actually Stardew Valley rather than Harvest Moon. Although I think the first one was called something like Rune Factory, a Fantasy Harvest Moon. But yeah, it's a Fantasy Harvest Moon. Or a Fantasy Stardew Valley. There's combat. There's a ridiculous amount of things to level up in. I found it pretty fun. No multiplayer though, so just one playthrough, and yeah, I was kind of done with the game after that. And then Hyrule Warriors, sometimes I just like to beat things up. And sort of the opposite of this playtime being false, this playtime is also false because I played it a lot with my brother on his profile. So this one needs adjusted upward. Yep, played 361 hours. I don't think there's actually any more interesting statistics down here. So let's move on to the other thing I wanted to talk about, which is games on Steam I played off camera. It's not gonna be like a top list or anything. I just like talking about games, so I didn't want to limit myself. But Gunfire Reborn, I picked this up like 10 days ago. It's a roguelite first-person shooter. And I think the upgrade systems in it are pretty interesting. Particularly the in-run upgrade systems, how they're like character-specific upgrades you can find, almost like hammers in Hades, but they're like a bigger part of your build. And then there are also scrolls that anybody can find. Bloons is Bloons. I just thought I should click on it to show that I've played it a lot. It's a tower defense game. I think the thing I enjoy about Bloons is that the like strengths and weaknesses of things are very straightforward. And they have more than just the standard, like, you need single target damage and you need cluster damage, and then there's like one special class that you need a special thing for, usually flyers in most tower defense games. This game doesn't even have flyers. There's nothing that ignores the path, which I like. Been doing some Sudokus. This one's called Chess Sudoku because in addition to eliminating rows, columns, and within the current cell, or I mean box, not cell, there can be, well, there are chess rules where each number might also block out the spaces that are like a knight move away or something. So it's been fun. I think the puzzles, at least, maybe even the whole app, are made by the Cracking the Cryptic people. And they have like 5 or 6 of these Sudoku apps. I just happened to get the chess one. Actually, it was gifted to me, but it was the one I put on my wish list. What else did I play a lot off camera? Oh yeah, I beat it, Ekenfell. It's a tactical RPG. Well, it's more like an RPG with timings in it. Happens to take place on a grid. Rather than actually leaning heavily into the tactical aspects. Like, it's important whether you group your characters or whether you spread them out. But you aren't going to make a whole ton of positional plays, besides maybe around traps. Trying to bait enemies into them and the like. Yeah, I played Deltarune. Oh yeah, Snake RX. That was an interesting game. It's kind of like a single-player auto-battler. But, you do have some control over what happens in each round. You can pilot the snake a little. It can turn left and right. But mostly, if your build isn't wiping out enemies right away, you're probably going to get overwhelmed and killed. It's not like you can skill your way out of any situation. But yeah, it has a lot of different builds to try going with, and achievements for winning with different sets in your snake at the end. I enjoyed it, but also I did it. But also this game's very cheap. I think like $3. Maybe I'm thinking of a different one. Well, I mean, I can just visit the store page. Yeah, it's $3. So I got my value out of it. Iris and the Giant. I might actually do this on camera at some point. I got through the story very fast, but it's a roguelite game about a girl that has one or more mental illnesses, which is, that's a concept. Yeah. Trying to think if I have much more to say about the gameplay other than it's a roguelite deck builder. Did I actually say deck builder? I mean, she's holding cards there. What else would it be? Demon Crawl, another roguelite game. There's a whole group of them here. This is Minesweeper, though. For if you didn't think Minesweeper was normally random enough, we stapled a roguelite to it. Yeah, it has some interesting classes that can do various things related to either revealing cells or tanking hits or, you know, the things that you would want to do if you were playing Minesweeper. But of course, because you have access to these powers, they can introduce various gimmicks that are against you, and they can also really inflate the mine count, although they call them monsters in this. Going Under was a silly 2D beat-em-up roguelite sort of deal. A bit like if Hades was a bit more awkward and your weapons were breaking all the time. See, Strange Brigade. I played this with my brother. It's I think a third-person shooter, and it has co-op. And you also gotta, like, spot things around the level in order to solve minor puzzles. I don't know, it was interesting. All the cutscenes are told in sort of like a B-movie sort of style. I mean, you can probably just look at this and imagine the style of the cutscenes and pretty much get it right. Alright, I probably just cut some footage. I hope I wasn't mid-sentence, but I got gifted some stuff. As Raukau would call it, it was an ambush. But anyway, I also wanted to highlight Nova Drift. It's a roguelite asteroids. I play a lot of roguelites off camera, don't I? I mean, you also probably saw me scroll past some things that I just didn't want to call out. But this one, if I had one complaint, it's that you're picking upgrades too often. Like, kind of wish you just actually played the game part of the game more. But it is cool to have a build come together. So, yeah. That's the year in review, and I now own 30XX and Just Shapes and Beats, apparently. Looking forward to trying them. So, yeah.